hours of Anne Heche and a very serious warning from the DEA to all of us. It is always hard to see someone you love in pain. It is even harder when you know that person is suffering from misuse of drugs, be it cocaine, alcohol, or any other substances, doesn't matter if legal bide or prescripted or illicit. The world is mourning the loss of the beautiful and talented Anne Heche. The world has always been her oyster, and she lived her life to the fullest. The following is not meant to be a criticism of her life choices, but more of a cautionary tale to all of us. The last hours of Anne Heche. Anne Heche, the actress and humanitarian, after she bought a red wig at Glass Hair Design at 1501 Main Street, Unit 103, Venice, around between 10:25 and 10:35 a.m., she looked okay and full conscious. But approximately up to 30 minutes before, she took a dose of cocaine with a, possibly unknown, fentanyl contamination. To mix cocaine with fentanyl is one of the most dangerous things you can do in your life, especially if you even don't know about the fentanyl inside the cocaine. There are more deaths from misuse, including prescription misuse, of fentanyl with COVID-19 and cancer together, and you never can know if fentanyl is in your cocaine, your pills, or whatever. After and leave Glass Hair Design around 10:35 a.m. the horror began. To this point, Anne already had a fentanyl overdose, which only needs extremely tiny amounts of fentanyl, and she even don't knew it because of the camouflage effect of cocaine regarding fentanyl poisoning. But after the effect of the cocaine wore off, the fentanyl poisoning hit Anne more and more, and from minute to minute she found herself in an absolute life-threatening situation and tried to find help and become serious problems with orientation and reaction and even breathing. Anne began speeding around Cabrillo Avenue 3 times around the corner and sometimes moved back and forth because of her life-threatening health problems. After that, on their way to the fatal car crash into the house at Walgrove Avenue, she hit a garage at an apartment complex, nearly hit a passenger, hit a Jaguar. Fortunately, nobody was injured at this point, and then speeded down Preston Way. At the end of Preston Way, she directly hit the house with about 90 miles per hour without any attempt to brake. Was it suicide? No, it wasn't, but yes, you can call it suicide to take substances like cocaine in modern days, because you never know what you really get into your body. It's not the question if something very bad will happening, but when it will happening. The root cause of Anne Heche's tragic death and the beloved one she left with tears about the loss of a wonderful human being is not a car crash, it is a fentanyl overdose trough contaminated cocaine and therefore hypoxia, what lead to Anne Heche's death. DEA warning. A very serious warning from the DEA to all of us. Please listen, it will save your and others' life one day or another.
Fentanyl is deadly. Exposure to an amount equivalent to a few grains of sand can kill you. Illegal fentanyl is causing a crisis in our nation. It is 40 to 50 times more potent than heroin. It is extremely dangerous to users and to those who simply come into contact with it. If you're a first responder, that could be you. What does fentanyl look like? It's a plain white powder. It looks a lot like traditional heroin, which looks a lot like basic cooking flour. Fentanyl is often mixed with heroin, or in some cases even with cocaine. We also see fentanyl being pressed into pill form. Counterfeit pills that resemble things such as oxycodone and Xanax could contain fentanyl. And whether in pill or powder form, fentanyl is exceptionally dangerous. Absorbed into the bloodstream through your skin, through mucous membranes, or by touching your mouth, nose, or eyes after exposure, or even by accidentally breathing tiny amounts of airborne powder. And symptoms of exposure can include drowsiness, disorientation, difficulty breathing, pinpoint pupils, and clammy skin. As the fentanyl threat increases, so does the risk to you. Something that looks like heroin could be pure fentanyl. Assume the worst. Don't touch this stuff or the wrappings that it comes in without the proper personal protective equipment. Police canine handlers must also be careful. Your dogs are vulnerable too. If you think you've been exposed to fentanyl, seek medical attention immediately. Fentanyl acts very fast in the bloodstream. Notify medical personnel immediately that you or someone with you may have been exposed. Naloxone or Narcan can reverse the effects of fentanyl. However, multiple injections may be necessary. And make sure you get medical attention after. Please be safe. Help us spread the word.